So today we are back with another video in my limiting belief series, and today I'm talking all about limiting beliefs when it comes to money. So today I'm going to share with you 3 personal examples in the hopes that this will illuminate what limiting beliefs are related to money, and hopefully you can figure out how this applies in your life as well. So if you want to find out what my limiting beliefs used to be, then be sure to keep watching. Hi loves, and welcome back to another video. My name is Jen. I'm a spiritual life and business coach, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so thrilled to have you here, and in case you're not aware of what's happening over here, every week I release 2 new videos for you all about mindset and manifestation, because I believe you need both sides of these tools to create your best life. If you are interested in up-leveling your life, in transforming your desires into reality, then you'll want to be sure to join me on this journey and click that subscribe button. I'm also pleased to announce there are currently seats available in my Unblocked group coaching program. If you are interested in learning more about that, then be sure to wait for the announcement at the end. So welcome back to the second video in the limiting belief series, and today I'm going to do a little bit more of an education and story time about some limiting beliefs that I have had in my life. So if you missed the first video, I was explaining all about what a limiting belief is, as well as how you can start to reprogram it. But I thought I would do a video training about some specific limiting beliefs related to some of the most important topics that I get on a regular basis from you, because it's not just me, of course, that has these beliefs. It is basically everybody, and most of us have very similar limiting beliefs when it comes to love and money and success and to everything else in life. So like I said in the intro, my hopes that sharing these things today and sharing what I got from these ideas will spark something inside of you. So like I said in the first video of the limiting belief series, the first step to changing a belief is becoming aware of it. So I'm sharing these ideas with you today so that you can develop some awareness in your life, and you can understand what maybe you got from some event in your childhood, and hopefully you can start now the reprogramming process and gaining control over those beliefs and deciding on what you want to believe in as a conscious creator. So you do not have to stick with these beliefs. The whole point here is now that we are conscious adults, we get to reprogram our mind to think whatever we want. And there's really no point in walking around with these things that make us feel like we aren't powerful or that we can't have what we want in life. The thing is, these beliefs are so big to us when they are inside of our minds, is that we don't even notice what they are. We don't even notice that they're there. So that is why I'm doing this video today, because hopefully this will ring some bells and will help you to dig into what's happening in your mind. So when it comes to money, it's a hugely emotional topic. It is something that we usually learned a lot about even when we were very small children. I'm sure you heard your parents talking about money. I'm sure you saw people stressing about money or complaining about money or telling you something about money when you were very small. And those things might not seem like a big deal, but those ideas, those beliefs that we formed way back when, like I said, can have a very big impact on what we think is possible. So what happens with a limiting belief is basically if one part of our brain believes something is bad or evil, your subconscious mind is going to want to protect you from being that person or becoming that person. So that is how we create this push and pull inside of us. So that means, our conscious mind wants to manifest money, but our subconscious mind doesn't for some reason. And that is how we get stuck in a loop, and that's how it becomes really difficult for us to make a change and to move forward. So again, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like money is something you've struggled with your whole life, there is definitely something here for you to think about. So I hope that you can listen to these examples I'm giving you today and to take them to your own world and apply this to yourself. So I'm going to give you what I came up with in these very personal examples to me, but of course your stories might be different and the conclusions you came to as a child might be completely different. And that's okay. I want you to get curious about what's happening in your own world. You are the one that needs to uncover that stuff. You are the one that needs to go in and heal that stuff. I can give you examples and inspire you to think about this in a new way, but ultimately this work is up to you. Okay, so with that all being said, let's dive into the limiting beliefs from my past that I want to share with you today. And the first one is that earning money is hard, or money is difficult to come by, or something like that. So I very specifically remember, my dad complaining about money, complaining about not having enough money, saying things like, "Where does it all go?" And so that might not seem like a big deal, of course, if you look at it kind of from a zoomed out perspective. Like, why would that thought or why would that saying have anything to do with somebody later on in life? But this can really become a very big block. And I'm sure that if you grew up in a similar home or heard similar things as a child, that this could be a block for you as well. But if you think that money is basically too hard to earn, or basically that you can never hold on to it, or that it's going to exhaust you to try, then there's a really good chance that part of your subconscious brain is going to try to prevent you from having those problems. So maybe that is going to be you not keeping money. So when you get money, you spend it. Or maybe that is going to make you not really want to work that hard, because what's the point of working hard if you're never going to make money? So this can have a variety of different effects on somebody, but it can basically make you feel money avoidant in one way or another. So if this is something that resonates with you, I would really suggest, thinking about it and journaling on it and remembering those times that this came up in your past, and decide on what you want to be true. So that's the big point that I want to make for every one of these. You don't have to believe in that anymore. You can go out and look around in the world around you for evidence of the opposite. And I guarantee you there is evidence of the opposite. So every time that it was difficult for you to earn money, every time maybe you were babysitting for hours and hours and hours to save up to buy a bike or something, for every time that you can think of something like that, there's probably also a time in your life where money arrived in a really big form unexpectedly, like maybe you got a scholarship or you won a prize or something like that. So I just want you to think about the other side of the equation and apply that in your world, because you do not still have to buy into this idea that it's hard, or that it's a struggle, or that it's never going to stick around if you do get it. You can start to look at the other side, and that's how you get over it. Okay, so the second belief that I wanted to talk about today is that rich people are just different, or perhaps evil or bad, something like that. So the example that I always like to point out culturally for this is Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. So the only rich person on The Simpsons is the person who is evil and greedy, super capitalist, out to get everybody, only cares about money. So that is one popular culture example of this kind of idea in play. It's not only Mr. Burns, though, of course. This idea comes up in so many different ways. And for me, I remember getting this kind of message as a child, not necessarily that rich people were greedy, but they were just somehow different. Like, there were just some people in the world that just knew more, were luckier, something was just different about them. That's kind of the message that I received as a child. So the problem with that is that, if you go around through life thinking that rich people are just different and that we are just different from them, that also sets you up for the idea that there's just no way that we can become that. We are just different. This is where we are, and those people are over there, and there will never be a bridge across. So of course, in the real world, that is not true. Of course, in the real world, you are able to change your financial story. But you will never be able to change your financial story if you just think there's no possibility. You won't even try to learn new things. You won't even try to become better with money. You won't even try to start a new business or, invest your money differently. You won't try any of those things if you think that the things that rich people know are just somehow beyond you, or that doing those things will make you bad or greedy or evil, because your brain will want you to stay loved. Your brain will want you to not be rejected by your family. So that's another thing. If your brain thinks that if you having money will make you one of them so that your family will not accept you anymore, that's basically setting you up for this feeling of rejection, which it really doesn't want to have, which I know it doesn't make any logical sense, but your subconscious brain operates on a very primitive, old level. It's still running the game like you are a child and you need your family's approval to survive. You are a grown adult now and you don't need that to survive, but it probably isn't an issue because you probably won't lose it. I see very few examples in the real world of somebody becoming rich and their family really not loving them anymore. Like, I don't think that that's a thing that commonly happens, but our subconscious brain might buy into that idea. So if this is resonating on any level, if you had a similar message programmed to you, if you watch The Simpsons or any other show like that with the, stereotypical rich character who is bad, these are all questions you might want to start to ask yourself. And to reprogram yourself and to get on the other side of this limiting belief, I would really start to look for examples of course, people in the world that have money that you would like to emulate, people that are not greedy or evil, people that donate money, people that do good things with their money. And really try to show your brain the other side of this and really start to prove that, maybe having money isn't such a bad thing. I know that sounds simple, but really, honestly, your brain believes some really crazy things and it all came from your childhood. So really think about where that stuff came from. The third and final belief I'm going to go through with you today is the idea that asking for money is somehow greedy or evil. So when you are a child, of course, you rely on your parents to provide for you because, of course, you're not out in the world making money just yet. So you may have had an example of this when you're a child and you want something and you need money for it and asking your parents for money. And maybe that didn't really go the way you wanted it to. Maybe they made you feel shame or remorse for having asked for money. So this is a pretty common thing that happens. Like, think about the time that you were in, a toy store or something and your parents told you no about something. And of course, like, that might not seem like a big deal. And of course, our parents probably couldn't afford to buy us everything, and that's totally fine. But sometimes these messages that we get from these very innocuous seeming situations, again, can have such a big impact on the way we look at the world. So say you asked for something from your parents and your parents told you no, but they told you no in kind of a harsh way and they made you feel maybe ashamed or greedy for asking. So now you internalize this idea that asking for things that cost money is greedy or bad or that you shouldn't want things. So that might seem like a very good thing to a parent in the short term, but if an adult grows up into this person that, doesn't want to ask for things that cost money and is afraid to talk about money with people, like, that can create some massive problems. And this is definitely something that happened to me. I'm not thinking of a specific example in general, but I just remember thinking of, like, not being greedy as being something I was very much told to do or modeled to do. And then later on in life, that came back to me in ways like I really was never taught how to get out of that. So I was never really taught how to negotiate for more money at a job, for example, or to negotiate for a raise or anything like that. Money, again, to me was modeled as being, especially asking for money, it was modeled to me as being greedy or selfish or something that I just shouldn't do. So you can see now how that time in your childhood, this one incident, can have a very big impact on the way you look at the world and the way you think about money and the way you present yourself with money that can be limiting. So did me growing up and thinking money was taboo and asking for money was taboo and not wanting to talk about money even when I was being hired for money, like, that did not serve me. I can guarantee you I probably should have been paid more at every single job I've ever had in my whole entire life. But now I know this. At the time, I did not know this. And so this is something that can have very big consequences. And so I want you to think about that in relation to your own life, especially if you're a woman. I think women especially are taught not to, be greedy or ask for things, or, we're just supposed to be the good girl and just to say thank you with what we get and just to keep going. But that is not going to work for us in this modern age. We need to be able to stand up and negotiate and ask for what we are worth. So if this is a limiting belief in your world, then I'm really going to suggest that you start to look for examples of people that are negotiating their way to more money. And I just read this amazing article a couple weeks ago about Michaela Cohen, this writer in the UK that negotiated her rights to her TV show, I May Destroy You, which is an amazing show, by the way. And that is really an unusual thing to read about. It is still an unusual thing to read about a woman negotiating for way more money. So educate yourself, put your brain in that sort of mind and start to think about money in a different way. Instead of thinking that we should just be grateful with what is given to us, what would happen if we negotiated for more? So there's lots of things you can do to try to educate yourself around money and feel more empowered about money. Maybe even just talking about money more and like removing that taboo of money being this thing that we should never speak about. There are so many ways that you can reframe this one limiting belief and ways to become more empowered in your money story. So I hope that gave you something to chew on. I hope one of these at least resonated with you. And I am sharing these again today because money is such an emotional thing and we all have so much drama around it, which is why so many of us are struggling with it. But we also have the power to go in and reprogram and choose what we want and redecide on what we want and reaffirm what we want. And that is in fact the path to becoming a conscious creator of your own reality. So if this kind of work interests you, I go through all of this stuff in my signature program, which is the Unblocked Group Coaching Program. If you are interested in getting involved with that, then I would suggest you come on over and sign up. Applications are currently open and I would love to see you over there. So thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really do appreciate it so very much. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you want to learn more, come on over to the site. I have a free manifestation planner for you to grab over there. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video. So until then, I'm wishing you an amazing week. And as always, just remember, get ready for the miracle. See you guys.